Hi everyone, welcome to another Spirit Searchers Paranormal Investigations video. My name's Rob, and I just wanted to make this quick video to talk a little bit about a super popular tool device used in paranormal investigations um, called an EMF detector. There are several different types available. This one's called a Mel meter. I'm sure if you're watching this, you're probably already familiar with it. But I just want to talk a little bit about it from my experience. So, when I first got into investigating the paranormal, I really didn't know anything. And somebody recommended I try a Mel meter. So I bought one. Actually, they're a little more pricey than I thought. This was like $100 or something. So anyway, it's cool. You turn it on, you hold it on for a few seconds, and it turns on. And then I don't know if you can see at the bottom number reads the temperature. That's this little thing up here, gauges the temperature. And then the top number is it registers electromagnetic frequencies in a measurement called milligauss. Milligauss. I'm not sure how to say it. So anyway, the idea is that if you get weird spikes in the numbers, like if those two zeros spike up to something crazy, it could be something paranormal. And in fact, now this is the idea behind it, all right? And in fact, there's a book. Let me just set this down. There's this book called The Black Book of Scientific Ghost Hunting. Okay, and they mention EMF detectors, and they say here standard equipment, they detect and measure the intensity of electromagnetic fields. It is believed that the presence of anomalous electromagnetic fields is an excellent indicator of paranormal activity. So, at first, that's what I thought as well. I thought this is really interesting. Like, we're picking up all these weird readings and such. But then I did a little more research into EMF and found out what it is. And um, so now I know better, I guess, how to use this. The best way to use this is to uh, disprove. Um, Not disprove. What's the word I'm looking for? I'm sorry, I got distracted. Um, because they do register electromagnetic fields, you want to make sure that a home is not experiencing some sort of electrical like dysfunction. An EMF detector detects electromagnetic frequencies, which is a type of radiation. So if you're registering higher numbers on an EMF detector, that could be cause for alarm for the homeowner. Um, Generally speaking, in milligauss, an average house will be like 0.4 to 1, maybe 2, um, sometimes 2.5. But really, that's pretty much the normal range. So if you see anything higher than that, either you're moving it around too fast, see, it causes a change in the numbers when you move it too quickly, or you're very close to an electronic device. The way it picks up electromagnetic readings is that any electronic device just plugged in and not turned on will create an electrical field. Once that device is turned on, it also creates a magnetic field. Um, so the closer you are to that, the more likely you are to pick up a spike on your EMF detector. Um, there's very little science to suggest that um, we are affected by the average EMF readings in our homes. Um, some of the older homes, like prior to the 1950s, the electricity wasn't grounded. So if you have very old electrical wiring in your house and it's not grounded, you could potentially have something dangerous on your hands. And I've written down some notes here. I went to a website that talks about electricity and such, and excuse me, they uh, they said that like the human nervous system generates electromagnetic energy. So, but it's so little that it's almost impossible to record on anything that we have access to. Certainly, you're not going to really get anything on this. Um, so it stands to reason that when we die, that energy could still be in existence. We don't know. It could be detectable, I guess, on the same way that it is when we're alive, but probably not by this. Now, I'm not disproving this. I'm just trying to give everybody an idea that it's a piece of equipment. It's a scientific piece of equipment, so we should use it in a scientific way. We've all seen videos on YouTube where they move it and then it goes up to 4.1. That's a ghost. That's irrefutable proof. Um, but it's probably not. So there was a study that guesstimated that super high exposure, like when you're in bed at night, and if you have super high exposure to like very high amounts of EMF, it could cause a disturbance in your brain activity, thus causing you to not get a restful night's sleep. I did see online on some blogs that people had taken that study and blown that apart and said, oh, it can cause hallucinations and it can cause you to see spirits and it can shift your brain so that you're on the same level as the dead. And let's not get crazy, okay? Let's calm down. Let's use it for what it is. I still love this. I love using this because number one, it can help rule out, is there something causing a high amount of electromagnetic, that's radiation. So is there something going on in your home that might be causing that? Now, again, it would have to be really, really high for you to be affected by it. The studies say that in order for electromagnetic energy to affect us, it has to be more than 100,000 times stronger than the Earth's magnetic field. That sounds like a lot, but actually there are some things that are stronger than that, like medical equipment, like x-rays. That's why you wear that. They cover you with like some sort of metal vest or whatever to protect you from the radiation. Uh, Also, like a CAT scan, that's EMF, that's radiation. So, on those high levels, prolonged exposure over time can affect us negatively. Um, and we'd be able to pick it up on a meter like this. So, basically, what I'm saying about the EMF device is let's use it as a tool to rule out. Let's see, is an electrical device in your home causing more EMF than it should? I mean, if you get readings above 4 on a piece of electrical equipment, there might be something wrong with that equipment, or probably the wiring. You should have an electrician come. They can use a receptacle tester to make sure your wiring is grounded. If it's not, that's a problem. Um, but I thought it was interesting too, because I did have someone say to me, well, you know, our lights were flickering on and off. I had this weird smell and such in the house. I know it was like a spirit of a loved one. And then I brought my Mel meter in. I could detect numbers, and I just really feel like that was my loved one. I get it, I do. But let's reel it in a bit. One thing we have to do is keep a level head. We cannot just go in there and say, "Oh, I got spikes." You think your dead father is sticking around the house, and my EMF goes up and down and up and down. That means he's not only here, but he's very emotional. Let's calm down. All right, let's reel it in a little bit and let's be serious. If we're to be taken seriously, and if our equipment is to mean anything, let's just be calm and rational and do what we got to do. Okay. One, I did find 8 signs that you may be having a problem with your electrical wiring. Some of those signs are dimming or flickering lights. A lot of people say that they've experienced flickering lights, funny odors, buzzing sound. So those are some of the things. So if you're experiencing some of those, don't rule out electricity, right? Because that's so important, because that could be the difference between life and death, or the fact that your home's standing or is it burning to the ground. So you want to take that seriously. If you live in an apartment building, your regular EMF readings around the house, that 0.4 to 1 to 2.5 even, could be a little higher because you're surrounded by more people, more electricity happening and such. The further you get away from a source of electricity, the lower the reading will be, obviously. Now, if you are in a dead space, no electricity around you. You're in the center of a room, a large room, whatever, and you see changes in the electromagnetic field. What does that mean? The answer is we don't know. Um, but it's interesting. That is of interest. And so you write that down. So, in a good investigation, you're going to want to check it out with this. Move very slowly with this, though, because sudden movements can cause the numbers to spike. And the hotter it gets, the higher those numbers could go if you move it too quickly. So you just see, I just got a 16. You know, you get crazy readings just by moving it really fast. So you got to be careful with it. Move it deliberately and slowly, and get general readings and say, okay, this lamp gives off a point 0.1. Write that down. You know, lamp in TV room gives off 0.1. It happens. Get some measurements in the kitchen if you get anything. Most of the times you won't get anything. But if you have an older, like an older refrigerator or something, you might get a point something or a 1 even. You know, you know, make note of that. So there we go. Does the EMF detect spirits of the dead? It's not designed to. Um, we cannot say with any certainty that it does, but it is one more tool in our toolbox to use to rule out possible radiation poisoning in someone's house. um, and certainly electromagnetic frequencies are of interest. We don't know if spirits of the dead give off higher EMFs because humans, you know, we generate it as well. Our nervous system generates it, but it's hard to measure. It's hard. It would be hard for somebody like me to measure with whatever equipment I could certainly afford. So let's just not get crazy. We see it all the time in the shows. They're running around, they're screaming, and the camera's focused on like the number going up, and then it's all crazy, and then they cut to commercial, and it's all this drama. Um, let's just calm down a little bit, and let's use the tool for what it is—a scientific piece of equipment. Because we're using a scientific piece of equipment in a kind of an unscientific way. So uh, we don't want to go too far to the crazy, you know. So, but anyway, it is a great tool to use. It can help you rule out any kind of electrical wiring problems, or at least make you aware of them. And you can get some interesting readings in some place that's noteworthy. Then you can further your investigation by doing other things. You know, if you get high EMF spikes in an area and you cannot explain it by anything, then you bring some other equipment in, okay, and do, you know, see what else you get. So anyway, those are my thoughts on the millimeter / EMF detector. I hope this was educational, and if anybody has any thoughts, let us know. You can only leave comments if you're watching this on YouTube or Facebook. If you're watching this video on the website, you'll have to like go to YouTube or Facebook to put comments. But that's it. Watch for more videos, and we'll talk again soon.